Okay, I'm ready. And we'll just deal with Mr. Vargas when we get to him or at the end. Good morning, everyone. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I'm here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right. Let's wait a second. Okay. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. But should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights: to the presumption of innocence, to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, to a speedy and public trial by jury, to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, and to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. I see Ms. Bermudez has just logged on. Ms. Bermudez, I'm going to come to you when I'm done with the script. The person that we're going to need your help with is Benito Vargas.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail. These bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail. If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you can remain in jail until your trial. You could also receive additional felony charges. It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Where the bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you. The standard at this stage is very low. A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred. Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date. Lastly, I need everyone to raise their right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, let's bring Mr. Vargas up from the male side. Are you Benito Vargas?
¿Es usted Benito Vargas? Yes.
Can you hear and understand the interpreter?
¿Puede usted escuchar y entender a la intérprete? Yes.
Mr. Vargas, you've been charged with 1 count of battery, 1 count of aggravated assault, and 1 count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree.
Señor Vargas, a usted se le acusa de un cargo de agresión corporal, violencia doméstica, de un cargo de agresión con agravante y de un cargo de crueldad infantil.
Let me tell you briefly, sir, the purpose of this hearing is not to conduct a trial in your case.
Déjeme decirle brevemente, señor, el propósito de esta audiencia es no tener un juicio en su caso.
The purpose of this hearing is for me to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you,
El propósito de esta audiencia es para que yo le diga cuáles son los cargos que se le han imputado,
to set bond on the offenses that I'm authorized to set bond,
para fijarle fianza en aquellos delitos que se me permite fijarle fianza,
to set future court dates,
para darles las cortes que va a tener en el futuro,
and to see if you need the assistance of an attorney.
y ver si usted necesita la asistencia de un abogado.
During this proceeding and all other proceedings, you're going to have the following rights:
Durante este proceso y todos los procesos siguientes, usted va a tener los siguientes derechos:
to the presumption of innocence,
a la presunción de inocencia,
to indictment by a grand jury for the felony offenses you're charged with,
para que se le formule una acusación mediante el gran jurado con los delitos graves de los cuales a usted se le acusa,
to a speedy and public trial by jury,
de tener un juicio público rápido y por jurado,
to see, hear, and question the witnesses who are called to testify against you,
de ver, escuchar y contrainterrogar a los testigos que sean citados a testificar en su contra,
to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf,
de exigir la presencia de los testigos para que testifiquen a su favor,
to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense,
de testificar a su favor y de presentar pruebas para ser usadas en su defensa,
to have an attorney represent you.
de tener un abogado para que los represente.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify.
Si usted no puede contratarse su propio abogado, se le nombraría uno si usted califica.
I've set bond on the 3 offenses that you're charged with.
Yo le fijé fianza en los 3 delitos de los cuales a usted se le acusa.
Your total bond is going to be $30,000.
Su fianza total va a ser de $30,000.
You can post this bond by cash, commercial, or property.
Usted puede pagar esta fianza en efectivo, usando una compañía de fianzas o usando una propiedad.
If you post a bond by cash, you will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until your case is over.
Si usted paga su fianza en efectivo, usted tiene que llevar la cantidad total de su fianza más las tarifas adicionales a la comisaría, el cual se quedaría con este dinero hasta que su caso termine.
When your case is over, they will return the entire amount of the bond to you.
Y cuando el caso termine, ellos les reembolsarían la fianza en su totalidad.
If you choose the commercial option, you will pay a fee to a bonding company for their services.
Si usted opta por usar las compañías de fianza, usted le pagaría una tarifa a la compañía de fianzas por sus servicios.
The fee is roughly 10 to 12% of the bond amount.
Y la tarifa a pagar es más o menos del 10 al 12% de la cantidad total de su fianza.
Whatever fee you pay to a bonding company will not be returned to you.
Pero la cantidad que usted pague en tarifas a la compañía de fianza no le sería reembolsada.
If you choose the property route,
y si usted opta por seguir la ruta de la propiedad, de pagarla usando una propiedad,
the property will need to have a net equity at least 3 times the bond amount.
La propiedad tendría que tener por lo menos 3 veces la cantidad total de su fianza en lo que se llama capital neto.
The sheriff's department will place a lien on the property, and when the case is over, they will remove the lien.
La comisaría le pondría un embargo a la propiedad o el título de la propiedad, y cuando el caso termine, se lo quitaría.
There's going to be a special condition on your case to stay away from Ophelia, Macedonia.
Va a haber una condición especial en su fianza, donde usted tiene que mantenerse completamente alejado de Ofelia, Macedonia.
Do you understand the stay away provision, sir?
¿Entiende usted la orden, señor, de que usted tiene que mantenerse totalmente alejado?
If you violate the court's order to stay away from Miss Macedonio, you could receive additional felony charges.
Si usted no sigue la orden del juez de que se mantenga totalmente alejado de la señorita Macedonia, a usted le podría imputar cargos adicionales por delitos graves.
And you could be rearrested and remain in jail until your trial.
Y lo podrían arrestar de nuevo y lo podrían dejar en la cárcel hasta que su juicio termine.
Mr. Vargas, there's going to be a preliminary hearing date set for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning.
Señor Vargas, su audiencia preliminar va a estar fija para el 8 de septiembre a las 8:30 de la mañana.
That date will get waived and you will get a new court date in the mail if you bond out.
Si usted sale bajo fianza, esta audiencia se cancela y usted recibiría un nuevo citatorio por correo.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
¿Le gustaría a usted que yo vea si usted califica para nombrarle un abogado? Yes.
Are you currently working, Mr. Vargas?
Señor Vargas, ¿actualmente está usted trabajando? Yes.
About how much do you make per hour?
Más o menos, ¿cuánto gana usted por hora?
16.
¿Perdón?
16.
16.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Ok, señor, usted sí califica y yo le voy a nombrar un abogado para que lo represente.
Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Vargas?
¿Tienes alguna pregunta para mí, señor Vargas?
Sí, pero para pagar ese dinero, ¿cómo lo pagaría o cómo? No entiendo. Para pagar los 30,000 que me están, o sea, mi bono, o sea, ¿cómo los pagaríamos?
For me to pay the money, to pay the 30,000 for the bond, how do I pay that?
Either cash completely through the sheriff's department.
Usted lo puede pagar en su totalidad.
A portion would, oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Usted lo podría pagar en su totalidad a la comisaría.
A portion through the bonding company.
Usted podría pagar un porcentaje, una porción de este dinero si usted usa una compañía de fianzas.
Or using property that has at least 3 times the net equity of the bond amount.
O usando una propiedad que tenga por lo menos 3 veces la cantidad total de su fianza en capital neto.
You have 3 options available to you. You can choose either one.
Usted tiene 3 opciones disponibles para usted y usted puede escoger cualquiera de ellas.
Pero, o sea, el dinero no lo tengo, pues, ¿cómo?
But I don't have the money.
I would suggest you contact the bonding companies. They will work with you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Judge. No, go ahead, Judge.
There are, I believe, 5 bonding companies. I would suggest that you call each one.
Yo le sugiero que usted llame a las compañías de fianzas y ellos trabajarían con usted. Hay por lo menos 5 compañías de fianza y yo le sugiero que usted llame a todas ellas.
Okay.
Any other questions, sir?
¿Alguna otra pregunta, señor?
Pero sí, la última. Si no tengo el dinero, ¿cómo lo pagaría con cárcel o cómo? No sé. ¿Cómo hacerle? Pero no tengo el dinero.
The last one is that I don't have the money, so do I have to pay with jail time or because I don't have money?
The short answer is that you never pay with jail time.
La respuesta corta es que usted nunca paga con tiempo en la cárcel.
You can call the bonding companies and see if they will work with you.
Usted puede llamar a las compañías de fianza y ver si ellos pueden trabajar con usted.
The reason the bond is so high is because the allegation that you placed a pillow over the victim's head and tried to smother her.
La razón por la que la fianza es tan alta es porque las alegaciones dicen que usted tomó una almohada y usted se la puso en la cara a la víctima y trató de sofocarla.
If those facts are not true, you may want to speak to your lawyer so that the lawyer can bring evidence to the district attorney's office where they may consent to a lower bond.
Si así no es como ocurrieron los hechos, usted puede hablar con su abogado y su abogado traería esa información a la fiscalía y puede ser que ellos se pongan de acuerdo en reducirle su fianza.
Any other questions, sir?
¿Alguna otra pregunta, señor? No, that's all.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Vargas.
Ok, puede retirarse, señor Vargas.
Gracias.
Before I allow Ms. Bermudez to leave, is there anyone else that needs her services?
No, Your Honor, that'll be it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bermudez. Have a good weekend.
You are welcome, Judge. You have a good weekend as well.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, let's switch over to the ladies' side.
We're ready, Your Honor.
Okay, we have Ms. Boyd.
Yes.
Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol, 1 count of possession of a controlled substance, 1 count of illegal stopping or improper stopping, and 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Your total bond is going to be set at $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Is this Ms. Brooks?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of aggravated stalking. I am not allowed by law to set bond on this offense at this stage. I'm going to set a preliminary hearing date for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm going to set a bond hearing date for September 10th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Are you Miss, is it Dorzima?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you charged with 1 count of simple battery. I've set the bond at $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's gonna be a stay away provision on the bond, and I apologize if I mispronounced his name, but it looks like it's Schoendard Jones. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Are you currently working, ma'am?
I just started a job, supposed to be today, but
Okay, how much were you supposed to earn per hour?
10.50.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Ms. Gallman?
Yeah, good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. You're charged with 1 count of driving on a suspended license, 1 count of possession of marijuana. I'm sorry. Yes, 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and 1 count of possession of a controlled substance. Your total bond is going to be set at $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
If you could give me a military discount, Your Honor, because I have to find the car out too when I get out of here. Got to get the car out the pound, and I'm not from here. So if you could give me a little military discount.
Okay. What do you define as a military discount?
Give me like 1,000 over. That'll be cool.
What do you define as conduct unbecoming?
You talking about
Possession of cocaine, possession of marijuana less than an ounce.
right. I feel you.
Is that conduct unbecoming, or has the military now allowed its soldiers to go around with cocaine?
Nah, I'm a vet. I'm not a soldier no more. I'm a veteran.
No, I'm not going to give you a discount for
That's-
possessing cocaine
Right.
and using military service as a reason for that.
So I just had to ask. I'm not using military service for it. I just had to ask if I could apply my discount. That's all. But
Sir, ma'am, there's no discount for drugs. I mean, you can get a discount for a gun. I mean, you get a discount at McDonald's, but it's like, hey, yeah, I had some drugs on me. I mean, where's that in Uncle Sam manual? Okay. All right, and I apologize. Bond's gonna be set at $6,000. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. And let me just say this. I have people tell me all the time, I got kids, Judge, I got kids. And I'm like, well, why are you out at 2:00 in the morning? I'm just saying, when you start asking for stuff like that, you have to understand how it's received. So I'm just saying that to you, just so in the future, before you say something like that, you understand how that may be received. Because I've lowered bonds. Hey, I got a problem. This was, this possession is not a whole lot. It's got stuff going on. I got this. But when you start leading with how honorable I am, because that's military, you said military service. You didn't say you got a drug problem and I need help and I'm trying to get help. So I'm just letting you know, I'm trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you and let you understand that what you said, although you were trying to ask, is not accepted well. There are a whole bunch of reasons for me to give you a break. But when people say I have kids, when people say military service, that does not place you in a position where that's going to get accepted and heard well. Okay, all right, you're free to go back. Give me 1 second. I'm getting a call from the office. I'm sorry, I'm back. That was a call about Mr. Edwards and making sure that I had his paperwork. All right, is it Miss Legrone?
Miss Hunter, he asked for someone else.
Okay, Hunter?
Yeah,
Okay,
this
give
was
me a
fine.
second.
What's on the next?
Okay. I apologize, Miss Hunter. They have you listed as a male on the warrant paperwork, and I'm certain it was an oversight. I don't look at people's names and try to make a determination as to names. So you are Tayana Hunter.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. I set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
Okay, there's gonna be a stay away provision on the bond for an Angel Evans. Do you understand that?
Oh, what?
Well, the name is ANJAIL Evans.
Okay, thank you.
All right. How do you pronounce that name?
Angel.
Angel. Okay. All right. So there's going to be a stay away provision to stay away from Angel Evans. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Sure. I guess.
Ma'am, I'm not a drug dealer trying to throw lawyers on you. Either you want one or you don't. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. How much do you make per hour?
My fiance works.
You listed that you work. Are you working or you're not working?
I DoorDash. That's why I can put a thing there. Yeah. It's no thing.
All right, ma'am, this is going to be the last time I'm going to ask your help for me to be able to determine whether you require the assistance of a lawyer or not. Yes or no, ma'am?
Yes.
How much do you make per hour?
$7.25 an hour.
Thank you, ma'am. You qualify. See how easy that was? Woo, so easy. You qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. You're free to go back, ma'am. Does she have a question for me? All right, you're free to go back, ma'am.
We need that, Your Honor.
Can you tell me your name, ma'am?
Patrice Lee Brown, her.
Okay. Ma'am, you're charged with violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, 3 counts, trafficking in morphine, opium, or heroin, possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, use or possession of drug-related objects, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime. I am not allowed to set bond on a trafficking charge. So I've denied bond on that because I'm not lawfully allowed to do that. But I've also not set bond on the other felony offenses. I did set bond on the use of possession of drug-related objects at $1,500. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. You're also going to have a bond hearing date set for September 10th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
All right, ma'am, you're free to go back. Miss Riley?
She bonded out, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, Miss Smith. Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of simple assault, family violence. I've set the bond at $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from a dentist barber. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
All right, you're free to go back. Miss Wilson. Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of theft by taking, 1 count of giving a false name, address, or date of birth, and the bond is going to be set, total bond, at $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's going to be a preliminary hearing date set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Your Honor, that's all on the female side.
All right, thank you for your assistance, even though it's a little rough. Have a good day, or have a good weekend.
Same.
All right, let's see. I have Mr. Butler as the first person up. Is that who you have? Even though BB is alphabetically correct, but Butler is on the calendar.
Yes, sir. He's right here. This is Mr. Butler.
Mr. Butler, sir, you're charged with one count of family violence battery. I've set the bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from an Olympia Butler. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Butler. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
You said the bill was $7,000?
It was 5,000. It's going to be a little bit higher because sheriff's office is required to add fees to it, but I don't have that fee schedule, so it's going to be a little bit higher than 5,000.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be the fees. Okay.
That's
All
good.
right. You're free to go back, sir.
Yeah, you can go back. Mr. Baby.
Okay.
This is Mr. Actually, like the baby or?
BB, are you Mr. BB?
Sir.
Okay, sir, you're charged with one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, one count of use or possession of drug-related objects, and one count of failing to stop or yield at a stop sign. I've set a total bond at $5,000. Are you okay, sir?
No, not really.
Can you understand me?
So it's 5,000.
Yes, sir. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 8th because the drug charge is a felony offense. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Are you still understanding me, Mr. Beebe?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Beebe, if you're having problems, you need to notify the deputies so that they can get you medical help, okay? All right, sir, you're free to go back. Mr. Edwards? Hold on one second, Mr. Edwards. Are you Perry Edwards?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, you've been charged with one count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce and one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. I've set a total bond of $4,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? I'm sorry, sir?
No.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How much do you make per hour, sir?
16. 16.
Okay. You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, you said it was 4,000.
500.
500.
Okay. All right. You're free to go back, sir. Mr. Is this Gibson?
Yes. Mr. Gibson, y'all.
I'm sorry.
Gibson.
Okay. Mr. Gibson, sir, you're charged with one count of driving on a suspended license, one count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. I'm going to set your total bond at $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
You said 6,000, correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
That's all.
All right, you're free to go back.
Mr. Haywood? This is Mr. Haywood, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Haywood, sir, you're charged with one count of giving a false name, address, or date of birth. I set the bond at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to find that you qualify. You're on the upper threshold, but I'm going to find that you qualify. Wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong form. I'm sorry.
This form is down here, Your Honor. We have,
Okay. Mr. Haywood, are you currently working, sir?
Yes, sir.
About how much do you make per hour?
1750, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Sir, if I have the cash in my property, how would I go about that? On the
You
card.
you said if you have the cash, where?
It's in my property on the card.
You're going to have to speak to the sheriff's deputies or the, well, sheriff's office personnel about how to retrieve that, because I don't know.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, sir. Have a good one.
Okay. Have a good day, sir. All right. Mr. Hurd.
Yo. This is back. What? I gotta take that.
Mr. Hurd, sir, you're charged, I'm sorry, with the same charges as Ms. Patrice LeGrone Hurd. And that's 3 counts of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, 1 count of trafficking of morphine, opium, or heroin, 7 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects, and 1 count of, actually, that's another count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime. I'm not allowed to set bond on the trafficking charge, so I've denied bond on the other felonies. I've set a bond of $1,500 on the use of possession of drug-related objects. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. You're going to also have a bond hearing date set for September 10th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay. As I was saying before, you're on the upper end, but I'm going to find that you qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
Mr. Jolly. This is Mr. Jolly, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Jolly, so you're charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting. I set the bond at $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yeah.
There's going to be a preliminary hearing date set for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Sure.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Next was supposed to be Mr. Key, but we already discussed this, so next is gonna be Mr. Mays. Mays.
Okay. Mr. Mays, sir, you're charged with 1 count of robbery and 1 count of pointing a pistol or gun at another. Bond is going to be denied at this point on both of these charges. There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond, a stay away from a Sean Harvey. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 8th. Your bond hearing date is going to be set for September 10th. Both of these are going to be at 8:30 in the morning. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No.
I'm sorry, sir?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me? Okay, you're free to go back.
Next is Mr. McFarland.
Okay. Mr. Mc,
No, that's John. Just 1 second. This is Mr. McFarland, Your Honor.
Mr. McFarland, you're charged with one count of possession of a controlled substance with the intent to distribute. I am going to deny bond at this time on this charge. I'm going to set a bond hearing date for September 10th and set a preliminary hearing date for September 8th. Both of these are going to be at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me? Okay, free to go back, sir.
Next is gonna be, Mr. Nicholas.
While we're waiting on Mr. Nicholas, the Mr. Edwards that I was referring to is the one from yesterday, LaMel Edwards. Do you have him there?
Go.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, one more time, Your Honor.
The first name is LaMel, Lamell, last word Edwards. His LE number is 0657205.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, would somebody go get him? He was removed before I could see him yesterday because of a conduct issue. And I did a continuance order for him to be brought back today. So I want to make sure that I reach him. And I don't know if it's possible, if we just got to wait till the end. You just tell me what you need from me.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll do that toward the end.
Okay. Mr. Nicholas, sir, you're charged with one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act and one count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime. I've set a total bond at $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? There's going to be a preliminary hearing date set for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you will get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you're going to hire your own lawyer? Okay. Do you have any questions of me, sir? All right, you're free to go back.
Next is gonna be Ms. North.
Mr. North, sir, you're charged with a number of offenses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're charged with 10 different offenses. Obstructing or hindering law enforcement officer, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, 2 counts, theft by receiving stolen property, 1 count, forgery in the 3rd degree, improper lane change, driving a vehicle without a valid license, and unlawful possession of firearms. So I've denied bond on the 5 felony offenses, and I've set bond on the obstructing, hindering at $2,000, possession of marijuana less than an ounce is $1,500, violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, which is a felony, but it's simple possession. I've set the bond at $3,000, $200 for improper lane change, and $1,000 for having a license, driving a vehicle without a license. I'm going to set a preliminary hearing date for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm going to set a bond hearing date for September 10th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay. You said no?
Yes, sir, please, at the time.
Oh, okay. You said in between jobs, so I'm going to put no. I'm going to find that you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
Actually, I did start a job Monday. And how do I get how do I go about trying to get a bond for those aliens that you said that you did?
Your lawyer is going to have to speak to the district attorney about this. As I recall, when I was reviewing these records this morning, you had an extensive record, and I think you had another forgery charge, maybe out of Henry County, if I remember correctly.
I'm sorry, no, sir, I haven't. I've never had anything like that. I don't believe so. That I know of.
Hold on one second. If you want me to look it up, I'll look it up. Do you want me to look it up? Okay.
I'm sorry, sir. I ain't trying to waste your time.
No, I'm here to answer your questions and resolve your issues. All right. Let's see. All right, I just got to your section. All right, according to this, you have 9 cycles, which means those are arrests or interactions with the police or law enforcement, as like probation or something like that. Let's see, financial transaction card theft out of Clayton County in 2008.
Yeah, I completed all those charges.
Let's see, theft by deception. That was indicted in 2010. There's a forgery in the first degree out of Macon. So
Yes,
I was the wrong county.
Yes, sir. It was dismissed. It was wishing me money order. So I received from somebody and it was fraudulent. But I got that straightened out and everything like that. What are they saying the forgery is that I have now?
Now it's forgery in the third degree and Jesus Christ. See, there's Glock 17 that was stolen out of Fulton County. There are suspected MDNA pills. They said $100 counterfeit bills in excess of $1,500.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. So let me see. All right. Anything else, Mr. North? I'm sorry, sir. Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. North.
You go back to yourself. Ms. Patterson? Patterson.
All right.
Mr.
Patterson, sir, you're charged with criminal damage to property in the second degree Bond is going to be set at $5,000. This is being listed as a felony. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir? I'm sorry? I can't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from a Vanessa Sanford. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Patterson. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, sir, you have a good weekend, sir.
Okay, you too. Mr. Patton.
Mr. Patton?
Mr. Patton, sir, you're charged with 1 count of simple battery and 1 count of battery. I've set a total bond of $9,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from a Refro Tyson and a Pinky McClure. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Setting my bond set on 9,000.
Yes, sir. All right, you're free to go back.
Your Honor, Mr. Lamel Edwards is present. Would you want to see him now or after?
Yeah, bring him up. Mr. Edwards, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. I set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No, I can't. And can I ask you, how do I have a criminal trespass on a home at a house that I stayed at?
Okay, I'll tell you in one. I'll tell you in 1 second. All right, let me go through my little spiel, and then I'm gonna answer that question, and I'm gonna allow you to ask any other questions you want to ask. Okay, is that fair?
Hey.
So there's gonna be a stay away provision to stay away from a Dawanya Griffin. Do you understand that?
Yes, I never had any problem with Dawanya Griffin. No violence, no call-ins when I was together 11 years. I never had the cops called. There was never no domestic violence.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
So I had to sit in here to September to go to court for preliminary hearing?
So remember the guidelines. Let me get through my spiel and then we'll have the conversation.
All right, let's go ahead, man.
Do you remember my question?
Which is you asked me something about a court-appointed attorney, right?
Yes, sir.
What about it?
Do you want one?
Do I need an attorney? Yes, that's fine. Where was I arrested at? What address was I arrested at?
Do you remember the ground rules?
What was the ground rules?
That I get through my spiel and then we'll have the conversation.
All right, you can go through your spiel.
Are you currently working?
No, I'm not, sir.
Okay, you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. Now, first question. Criminal trespass can be accomplished in Georgia in 2 ways. You're at a place that you've been told not to be.
By who?
Let him finish.
I said 2 ways, right? I said 1 and you didn't even let me get to number 2. Right?
Continue, sir.
Mr. Edwards. Have I done any, Mr. Edwards, hold on. Have I done anything to you? Have I done anything to you for you to give me this level of vitriol?
I got a
anger.
$3,000 bond for criminal trespass, and I'm not even a criminal. I have no priors. So how do I have a $3,000 bond for criminal trespass? That's what
Do you want me to give you, do you want me to give you no bond? Do you want me to give you no bond? Because you're heading in that direction. You are heading in that direction. You will sit there until you grow old, if that's what you want. If you want me to have a conversation with you, I will speak to you like a man. If you want to sit here and have an argument, I will no bond you and sit you in that jail until the Lord comes and gets you. Is that what you want?
No, I can't bond now.
Okay, then be quiet. Then be quiet. Quiet.
Not a criminal.
Yes.
The second way that criminal trespass can be accomplished is that you interfere with somebody else's possession of property, even if the property is jointly owned. If you and I go in half on a liquor bottle and I break it, that's criminal trespass because I've interfered with your interest in the liquor bottle.
Don't answer. Let him finish. Your Honor, you can continue.
Do you and Ms. Griffin have children together?
Yes, we have 2 twin girls. They are 14.
Do you live at this property with Ms. Griffin?
I was living there, but her son attacked me, so he got bonded out of jail. She asked me if I can leave the residence, so I went into a hotel so he can come into the residence because he had nowhere else to go. So when I went back to the house to see if he was working on getting him a place, she didn't talk to me or have any conversation. She just threatened me and said she would call the police if I come back to the residence. I have mail coming to that residence. My name is on the lease, and I also have the gas bill in my name.
Mr. Edwards.
They call me for criminal trespass.
Mr. Edwards. This could turn out well for you if you just shut your mouth and respond to my questions. Or it could turn out poorly if you keep trying to upset me. So can you unmute? Mr. Edwards, do you live at that property? Yes or no?
I haven't lived there, but I've lived there, but I left voluntarily.
That's all he's asking. Yes or no?
Because a grown son is there.
Edwards. Just answer the judge's question. Yes or no? For the rest of the remainder.
When did you leave the residence, Mr. Edwards?
February of 18. But my name is still on the lease and bills are still being paid. And I have mail still coming there. And I have a bill in my name. Her son is there, but her son he's grown and I could have easily put him out. But I left on my own because she had asked me to leave because he was coming back to the home and he had nowhere else to go. So when I went back to the home to see if he was there or had his own place, that wasn't the case. So she said she threatened to call the cops on me every time I come to the residence. She would threaten to call the police on me.
Mr. Edwards, based upon what you have said to me, I'm going to reduce this bond to $1,000. I am going to keep the stay away provision on you for this simple reason. You seem to be too volatile and unstable for me to feel comfortable in dismissing this charge. I am going to place a $1,000 bond on here. I have given you an attorney to represent you. Is that unfair to you, Mr. Edwards?
The only reason why I feel it's unfair because I'm not a violent person, and there's been numerous of times where DeWanya Griffin has struck me, and I did not call the police, and I did not defend myself. So to say that you feel that I am unsafe or that I'm going to be violent, I would have been violent years ago.
Okay, so I can explain that to you, Mr. Edwards. You're speaking to a judge who holds your liberty in his hands as if I'm some person off the street. If you don't have the awareness to understand that I could just sit your behind down there in jail.
I do understand that. What makes
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you've given me 10 different reasons to just throw you in the trash and be done with you. But I've tried to listen to you, and I've tried to hold a conversation with you to understand what's going on.
I'm trying to explain it to you, sir.
You're trying to get your point across. You're not trying to explain anything to me. Because every time that I've said something to you, you have not been able to hold that. I said, let me get through my spiel, and then we'll have a conversation, and I'll let you say whatever you want to say to me. You interrupted me 4 times before we even got to that point. So that's why I don't trust you on the street. I believe that if I cut you loose right now, you'd be over that house by 5 o'clock tonight.
Nah, I learned my lesson.
No, you hadn't.
They taught me a lesson.
All right, so your bond is going to be set at $1,000. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. The stay away provision is going to stay in place with DeWanya Griffin. I'm not certain, sir, as it relates to whether you should or should not be there because of the date of 2018 when you left. But that doesn't mean that you still don't have ownership interest. But I can't figure that out right now. But it's enough for me to reduce this bond down so that if you go through a bonding company, if I reduce it anything less than this, you're not going to be able to go through a bonding company. You're going to have to pay cash. So I reduced it to the lowest amount that you can go through a bonding company and get out and not have to pay cash. So I'm trying to cut you a break, and you think the world is trying to dump on you. You need to speak to your lawyer about this. You need to get some, I'm telling you, the way that you communicate is not going to help you in life. It really isn't.
I'm just trying to understand, sir. I'm just upset because I haven't seen my girls in 3 years.
Yeah, but did I have anything to do with that?
No, I know. I'm not talking about you. I'm saying she got a man around my girls that I haven't had a conversation with. I haven't seen my girls but 3 times in 3 years, and there's another man around her. That's all I was saying. Yeah.
All right, this is the last thing I'm going to try to leave you with, Mr. Edwards, so that you possibly understand. Let's say, Mr. Edwards, that you meet a new lady and you and the new lady are dating, but she wants to put all of the stuff from her other man onto you. You're mad at everybody and showing anger to everybody who hadn't done anything to you. It's okay to be mad with Miss Griffin. I haven't done anything to you. Those deputies haven't done anything to you. So when you put that anger off on them, they can return it. I can return it. I could have returned that anger and just been done with you. But I'm trying to show you grace, and I'm trying to show you, and it's just bouncing off your forehead. I see right now. All right, you're free to go back, Mr. Edwards.
So I'm talking about the
You're free to go back, Mr. Edwards. I do apologize for taking up that time, but Mr. Edwards, it appears he actually has a claim if he would just calm down and learn how to communicate with people. Mr. Porter. Sir, you're charged with 1 count of felony and stop or yield at a stop sign and 1 count of driving on a suspended license. Your total bond is going to be set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? These bonds are set by schedule, which means they're automatically set. So what that means is that a group of judges sat down and determined the bond amount. So I'm not going to go below that. These bond amounts are designed so people can automatically bond out rather than having to go before a judge. Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry, sir. Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Porter. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me? $500 for the stop sign and $1,500 for the driving on a suspended license.
So that's $2,000 bond?
Yes, sir. Okay. All right. You're free to go back. Mr. Robinson.
Robert.
Or is it Render? Who do you have next?
Yeah, Robinson, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, sir, you're charged with 1 count of family violence battery and 1 count of terroristic threats or acts. I've set a total bond at $10,000. You believe you can post that bond?
No, but I'll wait until you finish.
Okay. There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond, stay away from Melanie Matthews. Do you understand that?
Yes, that's okay.
The terroristic threats or acts is a felony, so there's going to be a preliminary hearing date set for September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived if you're able to bond out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. Now, what was it that you wanted to say to me?
So I know that there are accusations put against me as far as a terrorist threat, in which there's been no evidence I've actually ever done through text message or phone call. It was the first time that it actually appeared to me when the officer picked me up yesterday from my house. As far as everything else.
Would you speak a little bit louder, Mr. Robinson?
I'm sorry. As far as everything else, I haven't ignored the fact that I did throw a cup of tea at the young lady.
Don't talk about the facts of your case. You haven't even had an opportunity to speak to a lawyer yet who could help you.
Okay, it's more so the fact of me feeling as though it's not accurate by me getting accused that I ever did anything on that felony charge.
Okay, so apparently the allegation in the warrant is that there were text messages that were reviewed by the officer where you alleged that you were going to come back and shoot up the Family Dollar store. That forms the basis of the terroristic threats. And don't say whether you did it or didn't do it. I'm just informing you so that you can inform your lawyer. So if it happened, it didn't happen, or whatever, you know at least that there should be documentation from a cell phone. Okay, so that's where the $5,000 is coming from. That $5,000 for the battery, that's what I normally set on a battery charge. And the allegation is that you threw a cup filled with hot tea at Melanie Matthews, which caused superficial cuts to her hand and wet her shirt and her hair. So that's the allegation, okay? And so for things like this, I set these bonds at this amount because you control what comes out of your mouth. You control what you do with your hands and that kind of stuff. So it's not like I got a drug problem or I got this or that. That's just like with Mr. Edwards, he's getting himself into trouble. So That's why the bond is set at the way that it's set. Okay. Is there anything else?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Mr. Render. This is Mr. Render, Your Honor.
Mr. Render, sir, you're charged with one count of simple battery. I set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Deja Williams. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes. So if like when I got apprehended by the officer, I didn't have anything. I was at home, so I wasn't able to get anything. All my possessions at home. So I'm trying to figure out how can I get in contact with a bonding company because I don't have anything.
There's a list a slip that they should give you if you ask for the names and the numbers for the bonding companies that are authorized to write bonds here in Clayton County.
So they will be able to assist me, like, and I should be able to leave. Would they be able to assist me so I can be released?
Now, I don't know the exact process. You're going to have to ask them, but the short answer, if you're saying if they will assist you, they will assist you. Now, that could mean telling you what you need to do or whatever, but all you got to do is ask.
Okay.
Okay? Anything else, sir?
That's all, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Your Honor, this is gonna be Mr. Roberts. Mr. Richburg actually bonded out.
Okay.
This is Mr. Roberts.
Okay, Mr. Roberts, so you're charged with one count of driving on a suspended license. The bond is automatically set by schedule at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Are you currently working, Mr. Roberts?
No, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Mr. Shorter.
Mr. Shorter, sir, you're charged with carrying a weapon concealed without a valid license. This is a misdemeanor offense. The bond is automatically set by schedule at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
That's my only charge.
I'm sorry?
That's my only charge.
Yes, sir.
I thought I had more charges than that. Oh.
Well, is it in this county?
No.
Okay, you've only been charged with one offense from the sheriff's department.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir. I got my own money, so I don't need.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir. I have my own type.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Shorter? Okay, sir. You're free to go back.
Mr. Thaga.
Hey, Judge.
Good morning, or good afternoon, almost. Mr. Thaga, sir, you're charged with one count of failing to stop or yield at a stop sign, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and possession of handgun by a person under the age of 18. So you're going to have a total bond set at $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for September 7th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Oh, no, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Thaga?
If I was to go through a bail agency today, would I get out today?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's all I got for now.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Mr. Westmoreland?
Mr. Westmoreland, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. And there's been a preset bond placed on here for $707. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Oh, sir. Well, I was gonna ask you, you got the whole part. I thought about
The short answer is that I will have to speak to my chief about that, and that will mean you're staying in jail an extra night. Let me check your criminal history. Because this allegation is one that oh no, you got 30 pages of criminal history.
that's like last year.
I'm sorry, sir.
Last year, it's my first from trespass of this year.
Sorry. You don't get a free charge. So the OR bond, the way that it's set up is for people that have found themselves within the criminal system. College student, someone with no criminal history, but someone who just goes in and out of jail all the time. You're not going to qualify for an OR bond, or as we say, UJR bond. And especially with this type of offense where all you had to do was stay away from that shopping center and you wouldn't be here today. Well, according to the warrant, it says that the officer reviewed surveillance video, and that's how they knew that you had come back onto the property. Okay. Would you like for me to appoint a lawyer for you? I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to find that you qualify, and I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, sir. Free to go back.
All right, Your Honor. That's going to be everybody on the calendar.
All right. Thank you for your assistance. I do apologize for taking a little bit of time with Mr. Edwards.
That's fine, Your Honor.